Hello. We are going to make a soft body simulation, and I'm just going to do everything. And we are in the background right now with no sprites in. So what we are going to do is we are going to paint the blob, our blob. But the blob needs a little skeleton, so I will name it a frame. And make sure you have a small dot centered in the middle. It doesn't matter what color it is because you will not see the blob. This dot. Okay, so first we have our little frame, and I'm just going to center it even though you don't really need to. And I'll take the pen extension because we're making a pen blob. Made from pen. I'm going to draw the blob. So, when green flag clicked, I'm going to erase everything and start over, and we're not going to pen down because we do not want to draw anything at the beginning. There we are. Good. And second of all, we are not going to want to see this, so we are going to set its ghost effect to 100, and we're not going to hide it because we're going to do some sensing with this and touching sensing. So if we put a hide, it will not work. We're going to make, and their blob is going to be made of nodes, so you can also name this nodes. I'm just going to name it frame. And we're going to make a variable called the nodes. This will store how many nodes we have. It doesn't matter if you want for this sprite only or for all sprites. We'll just put it for all sprites. Set nodes to whatever you want. I'll go with 50 for now. You can always change this later. I'm going to set the diameter of the blob. And for this sprite only or for all, so it doesn't matter. My diameter will also be 50. Oh, and by the way, nodes are kind of like the resolution. The higher, the better, but not too high or it will lag. I'm also going to make a list called position X for all sprites. For all sprites. Not for this sprite only because it's for all sprites. Okay. And one called this Y for all sprites also. I'm going to clear these two lists. And we'll set up. Like a setup. Take the run without screen refresh. Okay. We will use the setup function down here. And we are going to repeat nodes -1. And we're going to add something to it. Add something to plus X and plus Y. And there we have setup. And now we can use our main loop for the skeleton or frame. I'll call this block framework and make sure to put run without screen refresh. Framework. And what I'll do with the framework is that I'll create the blob skeleton. Run without screen refresh. And make a new variable called n, just because I need a number. You can call out anything you want, but I'll just name it n. N does not stand for anything. Set n to 0. We repeat the number of nodes, because we're going to, and then we're going to create our blob skeleton here, and we will replace item n of position X with our X position because we're storing each node position in a list so that we can create a new sprite called the blob for the body, and we go around these frames and we can draw our blob. Okay? And we do the same with plus Y, and this time we'll use our Y position. We store them in the list. And of course we need to change it change node n by 1 so we can replace bigger other indexes as well. And for our frames, our blob skeleton, first what we're going to do is we're going to pen up. We don't want to draw anything at the beginning. And we also want a current diameter, which I'll call current D, for this sprite only or for all sprites. Set current D to 1. This will be used to form a repeat loop that makes if we're touching a level or we are at the size we want, which is diameter. And then set direction, because we're going to kind of raycast. We're going to create the direction variable for this sprite only. Direction to 360 divided by nodes, because we want the nodes to be spread evenly. Nodes. And we are going to point in our direction. Where is it? Direction plus direction. There. And we're going to repeat until. The reason we're not repeat what's that for? And the reason we're not doing a repeat diameter, because that way we can't really tell if we're touching the level or not. So we're going to repeat until we're touching the level, which we don't have yet. So we're not going to do anything with that. Or current D is greater than diameter plus 1, because we already have a 1 here. We can also always set this to 0. And we won't need this, but I'll put it anyway because it looks cool. And what we're doing, we're going to put an if not touching level, which we don't have yet. And we're going to move a step. One step is will be our radius. This will be our radius. We're in the center first. And then if we are touching the level, which we don't have yet, we will set a variable called touching. I'm just gonna make this all caps because it's fun, like that. And for all sprites. For all sprites. Okay. Then we set touching to 1, which means that we are touching the level. And then we repeat inside this if statement, repeat until we're not touching our level, which we don't really have yet. And we're going to keep setting this touching to 1 and move back until we're not touching. And we're just going to move back minus 2 steps because we want to get not touching it. And then we can set touching to 0 because we're not touching it, because we have a repeat until not, which means that after this repeat loop, our touching will be 0. And we are going to change our current diameter by 1 and set it to 1 down here. So now what we're going to do is that we're going to hide all these things. And we're going to make our level. You can make it any color you want, or just make it purple. Make sure to have a border. This will be our test for now. And make sure to center it. And name it level. This is my level. Ugly, I know, but it's a test. This is us, like their friend. And we're going to put the touching levels here. Touching level, touching level, touching level, touching level. And just to see if this works, we're going to pen down this. And there, we have it. We have our blob. And actually, just to test this, we don't need this pen up. We want a pen down. Good. Yeah. This pen will add to this, like that. Now everything's all working, and yeah, now we can make our body. This way you don't need to put anything in the costumes. Do a one green flag. Clicked. We add a main group, and we add this block called. Of course, we're going to name a blob. This is going to make a blob and run without screen refresher. Wherever we're going to blob. And set I. I'm going to make an I variable for this sprite only. Set I to 1. I would stand for index in our case. And we're going to clear everything. I'm going to repeat the length of position X or position Y. It doesn't matter since they're going to be the same. We're going to pen down. Pen down. We're going to X item I of position X. And this one we're just going around our frame. Drawing. Change I by 1. And I'll just set our colors. I'll put this to like 6.5 maybe. And there is our blob. Now, could have this pen down like that. Alright, let's test if this frame works because we want to see if everything's all good. And that will be our code for the frame and the body. And yeah, we're going to. Okay, now we're going to make our control so we can control our blob around with the arrow keys. We're going to paint a sprite. I'm just going to take this. I'm just going to take this thing. I'll paste it here. See, this is our control. Make sure we have the touching. And I'll just go like this. And in the frame, we need to add a go to control block. And I'll put it over here. And since I didn't really name it controls, we'll name it controls here. Controls. Go to controls. Right there. And then in our framework, we also need a go to controls. Right there. Like this. Now we're here. And if I put this control somewhere like here, there it is. Oh, this is bad. It's supposed to be diameter. Drag our controls there. And there, look, it's squished by our level. Now we need to control this with control with arrow keys. And actually we need to show this. What I'll do is I'll put a when green flag clicked, and I'll make it, I don't know, go here. I'll make it go there. And I'll set its ghost effect also to 100. I don't want to see this, and make sure we're not hiding it. Forever, we're going to make a new variable called xv for the sprite only. It doesn't really matter, but I'll put for this, and yv for y velocity. X also stands for x velocity for x speed. I'll just name it that. And we're going to change x by and change y by. And first of all, I'll just test this out. By we need to change x by xv, change y by yv. Here we are. And we're gonna put if we are touching the level. Well, this thing, we don't want it to go through the level. We don't want the blob to go behind the level. So we're going to check if the center of the blob, which is a kind of like maximum squish level, it will stay there. So if touching our level, we will change by the negative x, y, and x because we don't want to really go. Like that. And there we have it. And we also need to show this. And we're going to actually put the controls. If key right arrow is pressed, we'll move right. So we change our x by 1. And if remember touching, if our outlines are touching the level, we will change this by -1. And same thing with the left key. We'll change by -1 and this +1 because this will cancel each other out. We're also going to add the same things for up and down. Up, down, Y, 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 Y. And after all this, we're going to set xv. We want this to be a bit floaty, so do this. yv to xv, yv multiplied by 0.92 maybe, like this, and like that. And after we test all this out, and our blob seems to be, oh, that's bad. Let's see. Right. Yeah, I'll make this a bit bigger. Make this a bit bigger. Yeah. Now our blob is complete, and I can finish. I don't know, I'll make this a little black actually. I like black. And the body can stay that green. I like that green too. And we're finished with our blob. Thank you for watching, and remember to subscribe because I like subscribers. And I think that is it for Oh yeah, forgot something. We have to set these things to 0 at the beginning. Something's not working. If touching the phone, something's wrong with our frame. Yeah, this should work. This should be working. Something is wrong. Did I do this correctly? Alright, let's see. If I put this to 50. Oh yeah, I'm forever. Oh yeah, 0.9. 0.9. Okay, I think change it by 1, change it by another 1, change it by, let's see. Seems like I'm constantly changing. Just to see, I'm gonna see if it's touching or not. It's not. Anyway, there's this video. And I'm gonna try to fix this. This is hard, I guess. I think it's something to do with the... No, it can't be this. It has to be this. Alright, it's something in here. Alright, it's here. If right arrow key is pressed. Oh, it's constantly true. Alright, now good. Anyway. And thanks you for watching and subscribe. Bye-bye. That was my mistake. You didn't have to change anything, so sorry. Bye.